Kratom. Mitragyna speciosa. Kratom, scientifically known as Mitragyna speciosa, is a tropical tree native to Southeast Asia that has gained increasing attention in the United States over the past decade. While some individuals use kratom for pain relief or to manage opioid withdrawal, others raise concern about its safety, addictive potential, and lack of regulation. This raises an important question. Is kratom a helpful therapeutic substance or a growing public health concern? Understanding this issue is especially important as the United States continues to grapple with substance use and addiction, placing kratom within a broader societal conversation about pain management, self-medication, and recovery. What is kratom? Kratom contains active alkaloids, primarily mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine, which interact with opioid receptors in the brain. Unlike traditional opioids, kratom produces dose-dependent effects. At lower doses, it tends to act as a stimulant, increasing energy and alertness, while at higher doses, it produces sedative and analgesic effects similar to opioids. In the modern marketplace, kratom is sold in several forms, including dried leaf powder, capsules, teas, and highly concentrated liquid extracts. These different forms vary significantly in potency, which makes dosing inconsistent and increases the risk of unintentional overuse. This variability is one of the key challenges in studying kratom, as both the form and dose can dramatically influence its physiological and psychological effects. Kratom use has increased significantly in the United States over the past decade. National survey data suggests that millions of Americans have tried kratom, with prevalence estimates around 0.7% of adults reporting past year use. A study analyzing national survey data found that kratom use is associated with specific demographic patterns, including higher prevalence among younger adults and individuals with prior substance use histories. Research also indicates that kratom is often used by individuals seeking relief from chronic pain, anxiety, or opioid withdrawal symptoms. In this sense, kratom use reflects broader gaps in access to effective and affordable healthcare, particularly for pain management and addiction treatment. Additionally, the accessibility of kratom through online markets and retail stores has contributed to its rapid spread, despite limited regulatory oversight. Kratom produces a wide range of physiological and psychological effects. At lower doses, users often report increased energy, sociability, and focus. At higher doses, effects shift towards sedation, pain relief, and euphoria. However, these effects are accompanied by potential adverse outcomes. Common side effects include nausea, constipation, dizziness, and increased heart rate. More serious effects, particularly at higher doses or when combined with other substances, can include seizures, liver toxicity, and respiratory depression. Long-term use has also been associated with cognitive impairment, hormonal changes, and increased risk of dependence. Because kratom products are not standardized, users may unknowingly consume varying levels of active compounds, increasing unpredictability of these effects. Although kratom is sometimes perceived as a safer alternative to opioids, research shows that it can still lead to physiological dependence, particularly with frequent, daily, or high-dose use. This occurs because kratom's primary alkaloids interact with opioid receptors in the brain and produce opioid-like effects. With repeated use, individuals may develop tolerance, requiring increasing amounts of the substance to achieve the same effects, which can contribute to dependence. Patterns of regular use, particularly for pain relief or for opioid withdrawal, further increase the likelihood of sustained use and reliance on the substance. Withdrawal symptoms from kratom share similarities with mild to moderate opioid withdrawal. These can include irritability, anxiety, muscle aches, insomnia, sweating, and gastrointestinal discomfort. While generally considered less severe than traditional opioid withdrawal, these symptoms can still significantly impact daily functioning and make it difficult for individuals to stop using the substance. Kratom overdose is less clearly defined than opioid overdose, but it can still occur, particularly when high doses or concentrated extracts are used. Data from U.S. Poison Control Centers shows a substantial increase in kratom-related exposures, including cases involving severe toxicity. Symptoms of overdose may include extreme sedation, confusion, vomiting, seizures, and in rare cases, coma. Importantly, many severe cases involve co-use with other substances such as opioids, alcohol, or benzodiazepines, which significantly increases risk. This highlights a key issue. While kratom alone may have a different risk profile than traditional opioids, its use in combination with other substances creates additional dangers. One of the most debated aspects of kratom is its potential role in addressing the opioid crisis. Some individuals report using kratom to reduce or eliminate opioid use, and research suggests it may help alleviate withdrawal symptoms. However, this potential benefit is complicated by the lack of regulation, inconsistent dosing, and limited long-term clinical data. Without standardized guidelines, kratom use remains largely self-directed, increasing variability in outcomes. As a result, kratom exists in a gray area, positioned between a potential harm reduction tool and an unregulated substance with unclear long-term effects. Why does any of this matter? The growing use of kratom has made it an increasingly important topic in public health and policy discussions. As more individuals turn to kratom for pain management, mental health support, or relief from opioid withdrawal, it has become an important part of a larger conversation about how society responds to substance use and unmet healthcare needs. Studies such as Coe et al. And Green et al. Suggest that kratom may function as a harm reduction tool by helping individuals reduce opioid use. However, others, including Stanswy et al. And Henningfield et al., emphasize that evidence on its safety, efficacy, and long-term effects remains limited, highlighting the need for continued research and regulation. Ultimately, the importance of kratom lies not only in its effects, but in what it reveals about the evolving relationship between medicine, regulation, and public health in a rapidly changing world. In conclusion, kratom is a complex substance with both promising and concerning aspects. Scientific evidence shows that it has opioid-like effects, is used by a growing number of individuals in the United States, and carries measurable risks related to dependence, withdrawal, and toxicity. At the same time, its potential role in harm reduction highlights the need for further research and evidence-based policy. Rather than viewing kratom as entirely beneficial or harmful, it is more accurate to see it as a substance that requires careful evaluation, regulation, and continued scientific investigation.